So I started lifting around the age of 12, which is super early, but unfortunately I made a shit ton of training mistakes along the way, and if I wouldn't have made those mistakes, I would have seen so much faster and better progress. So yeah, that's why I'm making this video, to prevent you from making the same mistakes. And if you are making these mistakes that I'm going to be talking about, I'll also give you a better alternative of what you actually should be doing. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. Let's get into it. Training mistake number 1, eating in a too big of a calorie surplus. So yeah, I basically thought, as most people do when they first start out, that you have to be in like a huge calorie surplus in order to build muscle. That's simply not the case. I remember I used to at least eat in a 600 calorie surplus, and that adds to a lot of fat over time, and unnecessary fat as well, because yeah, I've talked about this on my channel before, but plenty of studies are out there which proves that you don't gain a lot of extra muscle mass if you're eating in a calorie surplus. Most of those calories will just go to fat storage and just a small extra amount to muscle. So yeah, it's definitely not worth it. And when you do a dirty bulk, you have to spend time cutting down in the future, because you obviously have to get rid of all that excess body fat. But if you just do a lean bulk, that's the better solution. Then you won't have to do that, because you will be gaining weight in a perfect rate, which is also just mostly going to result in you gaining muscle mass instead of fat, or at least not a ton of unnecessary fat. So not only will you look better if you do a lean bulk compared to a dirty bulk, you'll also feel better, because yeah, you won't be looking like shit, which also directly impacts your confidence. And your confidence is basically the thing that impacts your actions, because you're not going to do something if you're insecure little bitch, am I right? So the way to lean bulk properly is to eat in a 5 to 15% calorie surplus. 10% calorie surplus will be sufficient for most people, and the thing that is going to dictate how many calories you should eat specifically for you is your training experience. If you are a beginner, then you're going to add muscle faster, which obviously means that you're going to need those extra calories to actually build those muscles. Training mistake number 2, not training accordingly to my training experience. So in the first few years of lifting, I basically followed a completely wrong split for me, because I was a beginner back then, so I needed a lot of different requirements in order to grow optimal. For example, beginners, they need generally a lot less volume, which is weekly sets, than someone who's been lifting for longer, because volume is a direct indicator of muscle growth. And I feel like this mistake is something that pretty much every beginner makes, because they always watch their idols and just people on Instagram, especially on Instagram. I hate the Instagram workouts so much. But they just watch people and think that they have to train like them, but they're actually going to see better progress if they train, or if they use a training program that's specifically for beginners, because beginners acquire less volume, and they shouldn't also focus too much on isolations. They should rather focus on getting stronger on the main compounds. I saw so bad progress when lifting 6 days a week and spending 90 minutes to 2 hours in the gym. But when I changed my training program to a program that only had me in the gym 3 days a week, I saw way better progress, and I actually was stuck on a bench press plateau. But once I reduced my training days to half, then I saw way better progress, simply because I was doing too much for my training experience. Beginners, they don't need as much volume to grow. You should rather focus on being in the gym 3 to 4 days a week and just having a high frequency training every muscle 2 to 3 times a week. And if you are a beginner, I have made a completely free full body program, which is science-based, which is just a simple and effective program, which I gotten tons of great feedback on. So I'm going to leave that in the description if you want to check that out. Again, completely free. But let's jump over to my third training mistake. Cutting too aggressive and too soon. Well, if I did a lean bulk and not a dirty bulk in the first place, I wouldn't even have to cut. But since I did that dirty bulk, other problems, they accumulated as well, such as me needing to cut in order to be lean and look good and feel good. But when it was time for me to cut, I did it completely wrong. And of course, I wasn't good at thinking long term, so I just was in a super aggressive calorie surplus. I think I ate in almost like 1,000 calorie surplus, which is a shit ton if you know a thing or two about cutting. Basically, you should not eat that little calories because you're not going to be able to maintain your muscle mass. You're going to be feeling like shit. You won't be having high testosterone levels. Basically, you're ruining everything with your body, and you're only doing it to try to speed up the process of cutting. And yes, you're going to lose fat a lot faster, but you're also going to lose muscle a lot faster. You're going to be feeling like shit the entire time. You're going to be fucking with your hormones, which is definitely not the time to do so when you're in puberty. So yeah, just stay away from being in a drastic calorie deficit when you're trying to cut. And you should try to not cut in the first place, because being a teenager, you definitely shouldn't be in a calorie deficit if it isn't necessary. And not only that, but you haven't been training for long, so when you're cutting down, you're not going to look so good. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have to spend time to build that muscle, okay? You're still going to look like shit if you spend all this time dirty bulking. Then you're going to cut and you just repeat the process like very frequently. Rather focus on doing a long and steady lean bulk and not do a dirty bulk. But if you need to cut, either because you're overweight or you just feel insecure about your body, then I would recommend a 20% calorie deficit. A 20% calorie deficit is going to make sure that you're losing weight adequately, but you're not going to be losing it so fast that you're also going to be losing muscle mass and feeling like shit. So yeah, that's how you should do it, but preferably do not cut in the first place. Training mistake number 4, not understanding the importance of recovery. So yeah, since I followed the training program which wasn't meant for me at all, I didn't recover properly. I was in the gym 6 days a week, which is definitely not what you should be doing when you're a beginner. Even though your favorite fitness influencer are following a split like that, that doesn't mean that it's going to give you the best results. So I was going to the gym almost every single day, and I was doing a shit ton of exercises, a shit ton of volume. I was almost training to failure every single time. And the reason why recovery is so important in order to build muscle is because the training part, that's just the part that stimulates your muscles to have the potential to grow. But in order for them to actually grow, that's during the recovery process, as long as you provided them with sufficient nutrition. And if you keep overtraining, you're simply going to be putting your muscles in a catabolic state all the time, because you're going to be breaking the muscle fibers down, but you're not giving them sufficient time to recover and build back up. So remember to get some rest days in. Like general recommendations, if you're a beginner, train 3 to 4 days a week. If you are an intermediate, train 4 to 5 days a week. And if you are an advanced lifter, someone who's been training for many years, train 5 to 6 days a week. And now the 5th and final training mistake, and that is overemphasizing the importance of supplements. And I feel like this is something that so many people do, not only teenagers and beginners, but yeah, people who's been lifting for many years. They continuously spend a lot of money and even waste money on supplements, which doesn't do shit, or either doesn't do what it say it will, or it just does it a lot worse. And you know, supplement companies, they're very good at making you think that the supplements does more to your body than it actually does. Supplements will only change your body, not even like 5%, only like 1 or 2% when we're talking about natty supplements. Supplements are simply marketed as doing way more than they actually do. At most, they will only change your physique like 1 or 2%. And some supplements, I'm just going to tell you, are straight bullshit and you shouldn't waste your money on, is fat burners, testosterone boosters, BCAAs, and just underdose pre-workouts, which is most pre-workouts. You know, it's so funny because when people don't see progress, and this was me in the past as well, I didn't see progress and I thought, what kind of new expensive supplement can I take in order to bust through my strength plateau or my muscle building plateau? The thing is that supplements, you can already find the ingredients in food. They aren't steroids, they are natty as me, and they just don't do much. But I do recommend some supplements though, and one would be creatine, since it's very science-based and has proven benefits such as strength performance, and another would be whey protein, simply because it's actually cheaper per gram of protein compared to regular food. So if you're on a diet, or even just for the convenience sake, I would recommend whey protein. And also caffeine is great, and citrulline malate or L-citrulline. But then again, you don't need any of these supplements. They will only change your body like a few percentages. and yeah, it only makes things more convenient pretty much. And just remember, I've made some training mistakes, you've probably made some as well, but the important thing is just to look forward and actually just understand that you've learned from those mistakes, which is just going to give you better results in the long run, instead of looking back at those training mistakes and just regretting the stuff that you did and just feeling sad or down that you could have gotten better gains if you didn't make them. That's not how real life works. You can't go back and change the past, so fuck dwelling about the shit that you can't change. Rather be happy that you've learned from those mistakes and focus on being the best version that you possibly can be at this current moment. So to summarize all of the training mistakes, number 1, eating in a too big of a calorie surplus. You should rather do a lean bulk because that's going to result in better muscle gain over time. Mistake number 2, not training accordingly to my training experience. You should not do the thing that you see on social media. You should rather do the thing that is best for you, and for beginners it is to only be in the gym roughly like 3 to 4, I wouldn't recommend more than 5 days a week, and just focus on getting stronger on the compounds and training your muscles frequently. Training mistake number 3, cutting too aggressive and too soon. Again, if you do a lean bulk, you won't even need to do a cut in the first place, which you shouldn't do when you're in puberty and you're a teenager. But if you do it slow, do it in no more than a 20% calorie deficit in order to preserve the most amount of muscle mass and just feel good as well. Training mistake number 4, not understanding the importance of recovery. Always remember that your muscles, they aren't growing in the training stages, they are growing when you're allowing them to recover and build back up. And number 5, overemphasizing the importance of supplements. Remember, supplements, they will only change your physique 1 or 2%. What actually changes it is being consistent, is by following a training program and having a good diet. I feel like I killed this video. Let me know if you liked it, because I feel like just sit down videos are pretty boring to watch, so I'm not really sure if people like to watch this. Maybe I'm just, I feel like I'm really boring, but let me know if I am or not. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found some value in this video and you liked the video, please subscribe and like the video. But if you didn't like the video, dislike it and tell me what I can improve on in the comment section below. My name has been Magnus Bulkan, or it always is Magnus Bulkan. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Peace.